All of those businesses, they ain't got to worry about it. They have no penalties to pay. Nothing. They get to postpone it for at least another year until after the election.
But
the reason they want to do it, they want to wait until after the election, is because they know dang well that if the Republicans get the sweep in the Senate, that there is going to be one great big repealing going on in 2014. There ain't no two ways about it.
So let me get this straight, Marty.
But they don't want to lift the individual mandate.
Well, no,
because they still got a chance
votes.
to get some money.
See,
if
individuals,
it builds up,
man, look, we can't afford to hire lobbyists on our behalf. These mom and pop, family-owned businesses, well, they can't afford to hire lobbyists to lobby on their behalf.
Man,
but big business can afford to send these guys down there to Washington. Know what, man? If y'all let this go through, we might not be contributing towards your political campaign next season.
And guess who's going to be enforcing this travesty?
Oh, the IRS. The most trusted agency in
we
the
can
US.
Trust them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they only waste $50 million on a convention for each other. We can trust them. They only targeted and penalized everyone that disagreed with the president politically. We can depend on them.
If you're a conservative like me or Marty, who's kind of public with our opinions,
and the amount of your private information
well,
that
hey,
is
man,
going to be made available to the IRS.
What if, hey man, here's a scenario. What if you or I comes down with some kind of really, where we need an organ transplant or something? What do you think the IRS panel that looks at our past, oh, you need another kidney?
Man, I think we're going to have to get ours on the black market somewhere, man. I mean, really, because
we're going to have to use goat kidneys or something like that.
All I can say is we better get really friendly with some scientists who want to do some experiments or something. That's about the only way we're going to be able to do anything, man. I can tell you right now, we are totally screwed. But look, we've got the election that we can.
But
we've got time to
we
gather candidates and get them together.
Wait, before we move off of Obamacare.
Oh, I wasn't even close to being through. Go ahead.
You got to remember, this was Obama's signature achievement of his presidency.
His legacy
to date.
This
was his legacy, and it's a legacy of what? Failure.
Are you kidding me?
Failure.
Man, look, even the Europeans, man, read some of the op-eds.
Now.
Read some of the op-eds in the Daily Mail about Obamacare. They're even going, whoa, they ain't going to be able to pay for that. What, are you crazy? Really? I thought ours was screwed up. That's not modeled after ours. We not know. It's bad, man. When the Europeans, when the Brits, when socialized medicine looks at it and goes, man, that's socialized medicine right there. That's some extreme. Who wrote that? Stalin?
Yeah.
Do you realize that this is going to call for the largest information database in the history of the planet?
And possibly a few other planets.
Really? That one government would have on its citizens. This is stuff, even Vladimir Putin looks at it and goes, man, the KGB didn't even have it like that.
No
wow,
kidding,
I'm
man.
impressed. I mean, when you've got news organizations like Pravda calling it what it is, that's not even socialism, y'all. That's more communist than Lenin.
If Nikita Khrushchev was still alive, he'd be going, oh, man, how'd you get away with that? We said we'd conquer y'all without firing a shot, but we didn't mean for y'all to take it that far.
I really, really do hate to use this as a reference, all right? But last night, Tina, bless her heart, my little sweetie, she got fired up. Just about, we was talking about this stuff. And she got so mad, and she's like, how in the world are people getting by with this? And I said, look, even Adolf Hitler didn't just come out with, blah, I'm crazy, He was a younger guy. He could make some really good speeches, get the crowds fired up, have people putting their lighters up in the air, woo-woo. He knew how to do it. He knew the right words to say, the right speeches to make, pandering to the poor. I'm going to be your only hope, your only salvation. And it wasn't until way into his rulership, whatever you want to call it.
Dude, they got started way back in the 30s.
Yeah, but he eased all that, like the whole thing with him hating the Jews and wanting to wipe them out. He eased them into that, man. It got to the point that a lot of the things that when he would say, we got to hate these people, they would say things like, these are the people who are taking your jobs. These are the people that want to take all of the help and aid away from you. These are the people, they don't even want you to get health care. They don't even want you to get an education. These are the people that they're the ones that have taken all of your jobs.
See, for that matter, Hitler even kind of eased into Poland compared to the way, the Obama sent people to Libya.
You know what one of his main hooks was? What one of the main things Hitler used to get to the people with?
What was that?
Health care. He nationalizes health care.
Because it was for the kids.
That's exactly what he said. And it was also during that when he started looking, getting people making these educational films and stuff for people and saying, well, and it would show people with disabilities and people that, had like Down syndrome or cerebral palsy or something like that. They would put them on film and go, these people are a burden to society, and they should all be in one central place where we can take better care of them. And nobody ever asked any questions. And those people never came back. But hey, it was a good idea because it was really good for the collective.
But contrast that with Kathleen Sebelius, who looked at this little girl and said, no, you can't have a lung. You got to get on an adult list if you want a lung, little girl.
You need to stay alive a couple of more years, honey, and then you can get on the list.
Or not.
She said, some people live, some people die. That's just a fact of life. That, by the way, is our Secretary of Health and Human Services. She also sees nothing wrong with an abortion after 25 weeks. And she sees nothing wrong with a baby's life being terminated should it survive the abortion attempt.
Yeah, she's a nice lady.
Yeah. Yeah, we love her. And this is all part of Obamacare, too, by the way. Under Obamacare, let's not forget the mandate of doctors to perform abortions. You got to do it. And it'll also allow the government to make that, like how in Texas, how all the progressives are so ticked off down in Texas because Texas says, no, we're going to back down the abortion weeks to 20. Toughest abortion law in the country. Progressives are going nuts. Well, once Obamacare fully kicks in, it doesn't matter what Texas does. Obamacare takes that right away from the states. We told people to read this stuff, man. Look, I couldn't read it. It actually took me a year to read the whole shooting match. But man, oh man, and I still hadn't read every single word. I still have, the major points that I've seen though are Orwellian. They haven't begun to name all of the oopsies and headaches and violations of privacy.
And guess what? Obamacare has a twin brother.
Oh, it does? You know that's right.
Sent that bill on to the House yet, right?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he hadn't, and there's a good reason.
Because the House don't want to talk about it.
Well, there's that, but if he sends it to the House, it will be rejected out of hand, given what they call a blue slip,
Ooh.
because the writers of that bill really screwed up. They failed because there's a clause in there that raises revenue. And
What?
the Senate cannot propose legislation that raises revenue. Only the House.
Ooh.
Any bill.
It's coming back now. Boehner has been going from Democrat to Democrat and then back to some of his Republican base and saying things, like, we understand that we've got to come up with something. We understand that.
Now, see, that makes me want to go smack him upside the head.
Yeah, we want to work with you on we want to work with you guys, with you Democrats, on a bill here in the House based off of the Senate bill. No. The object here is for you not to have a bill on immigration at all. The object here would be for you to somehow, if you want to draft some legislation, draft some legislation that will keep the executive branch from prohibiting the judicial branch from doing its job. How about that? How about we draft some legislation that requires the Department of Justice and the Treasury Department both to enforce existing immigration laws and deport on sight or deport on capture? You want to talk to some people about some amnesty? Then okay.
Well, the thing is,
you talk to them about it, but we're definitely not going to give any.
Why are we having this discussion? We're having it because of what I said today in that first thing that I posted. Boehner and Paul Ryan, Marco Rubio, all these folks are listening to Democrats
and Democrat strategists.
Wait.
Consultants.
And yes, the same consultants who advised Romney on how to run his campaign.
Thank you.
Which he lost.
Thank you.
So guys who have a proven track record of failure are the ones who are advising the Republicans that, immigration is an issue that we have to deal with because we haven't been nice enough to Hispanics. The funny thing is, I talked to quite a few Hispanic immigrants, people who have legally come to the United States, got their citizenship, started businesses, and they jumped through all of the legal hoops, and they came from Mexico too.